Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to just spend a Sunday together. I don't normally vlog on Sundays because I'm usually not doing very much, and it's kind of my full day off from everything, including like chores. But this Sunday was a little bit different, so I thought, why not go ahead and vlog? We usually try to have a big breakfast on Sunday, and so my husband is making us some sausage, egg and cheese bagels, and hash browns. That breakfast was so good. Also, every single Sunday morning at this stage, I'm baking sourdough, so I let it ferment in the fridge overnight, and then I bake it first thing in the morning. I love letting it ferment in the fridge because of two reasons. One, it makes it so much easier to score, which is what I'm doing now. And then also, I just think the flavor is so much better. Like, I've done the do the whole loaf in a day thing, but the flavor's just not as good in my opinion. So that is what we're doing here. It takes about 45 minutes to bake, so 25 minutes with the lid on, 20 minutes with the lid off, and you preheat the cast iron Dutch oven for 30 minutes before that. So it's really like an hour and 15 minutes process. Pretty hands off though at this point. And I usually just eat a nice big Sunday morning breakfast and then hang out. Sometimes I'll watch a documentary on Sunday mornings. This particular morning, I had some errands I wanted to run. I wanted to go get herbs to plant for the spring and the summer. And so I didn't really watch anything. I just kind of had a nice breakfast. And then the whole fam packed up and went to the hardware store. We started out at Ace Hardware, and they had a ton of plants, but they didn't have a ton of herbs. So we ended up going to Lowe's and heading back home. And around 12:30-ish, I recorded 2 podcasts. I usually record on Saturdays, but the kiddo had a haircut, and so I figured that was a really good time for me to get that recording in. And friends, it is warm here now, so we are officially changing out our sheets. It's too hot at night to have flannel sheets at this point, and so we're switching them out. These are our fall winter sheets, and we're switching them to our spring summer sheets, which are this light green denim that I am obsessed with. We probably should have 2 pairs of sheets, I guess, but we really just wash and put them back on the bed the same day, and it's fine for us, honestly. In worst case scenario, we can put the flannel ones on if they aren't dry before bed or something, but that's not really ever happened, so we're fine. And it's just been such a treat to have sheets that are texturally satisfying. This is a little luxury that I never indulged in until the last year, really. Someone sent me some linen sheets and I was like, oh, I see. And that got me on board, and I got flannel ones for the winter, and my life is different now. And we just finished up making that bed. This is actually way later in the day. I did it out of order to make the sheet story work. But after we took the sheets off, we washed them, and while that was happening, I planted my herbs. So I did a pretty hardy herb garden this year. I did rosemary, dill, basil, cilantro, parsley, sage, and then we already had mint and thyme that were already coming back. But I did plant an additional thyme plant because the thyme was coming back kind of sparse. So I worked on that and got it all set up. Sage is actually one of my favorite herbs. I haven't ever really planted it though. I've had rosemary for a long time. I've had thyme and mint for years. I've had cilantro. I've done a ton of different kinds of ways of growing basil. But sage. But I love sage. I love sage and thyme and rosemary, and with butter and eggs. So good. So I'm excited to have that in the garden. this cilantro plant was way bigger than I planned. I thought I was going to do the dill and the cilantro together, but it needed its own pot. So I just kind of got that guy planted. One of the problems we have is that our yard has a ton of wildlife in it, which is a great problem, except for when you're trying to grow a garden or herbs. I feel like every year I try, and every year things get eaten. So I'm hopeful this year that that will not happen. But, fingers crossed. I probably should go ahead and start harvesting these herbs just to kind of get them growing better, but I want to let them feel, get adjusted to being here and to their new environment before I do that. But yeah, I just did a full container garden right near our kitchen door. So this way I can just come out of the kitchen if I'm cooking, grab a few herbs. On the weekends, I can kind of bring a bowl out from the kitchen and harvest and let that be enough, And I'm just kind of taking my trash down from, I feel like it's nice to just go ahead and get that out of the way. And gonna water. Our nozzle broke on our water hose, so I'm doing it the way I did when I was a kid and just using the thumb method and doing my best. I used to be so nervous to water my plants. Like, I was worried that I would overwater them. And then when I had a garden, I saw what the rain does and how much they flourish. And I changed my tune on that. It really showed me something. So the other thing here is I'm just gonna refresh these ranunculus that we had. We have like our little spring decor situation going on, and this year I just did one vase. So we always have one vase of fresh flowers going, and that is so much more manageable. In the years past, I've had upwards of like 3 to 6 vases at a time. And that's just too much. And it's more than I want right now. It's so magical when, you want to sustain that. But right now, that is not what I want to do. So, one vase. And these have lasted me 3 weeks. Just trimming them once a week, switching out the water. It's time for afternoon coffee. And I'm trying out a little something. So, I'm putting 1 scoop of cocoa powder, 1 scoop of brown sugar, a little bit of hot water, and making kind of a quick chocolate sauce. And then I am pulling espresso over that and putting that over strawberry milk. This is actually something that I got from a coffee shop in Asheville called Rowan. Each kind of around Valentine's Day, they do the specialty drink, which is like a strawberry milk mocha, and then they put like rose petals on top, and it is so good. And this year I never got one iced. I got one hot, and I really wish I'd gotten one iced. So I made it home, and I didn't realize until after I'd made it that I didn't have any ice. So I drank it. It wasn't great. You need the ice in an iced coffee, in my opinion. And then the rest of the day I spent doing some self-care. I took time outside to read. I'm reading the Throne of Glass series right now. I've read 3 of the books. I'm reading Assassin's Blade, which is the prequel. And I just kind of went back. But I am loving it. Loving it. And then here's the nature in the yard. There's a little bunny in the yard, some blue jays. And then I ended the night with some kind of skincare, hair care. I did like the big shower. And that's really it, friends. We did the big shower. Obi made some broccoli cheddar soup. We had dinner as a family. I read before bed, and then we went to sleep. So it's an anticlimactic ending, but we're going to end the vlog here. And that was my Sunday. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.